What's going on, guys? This your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Caitlin Clark is opening up about the Fever defense and pretty much her style of defense moving forward. Now, we know the Indiana Fever is pretty much a defensive-based team. Stephanie White focused heavily on the defense last year, and hopefully we get a 2026 season, man. There really just has not been any leg room with this CBA negotiations. Now, Caitlin Clark has been making her rounds online as well, making headlines after saying different things about current events that has been happening. And this is what I like to see from Caitlin, man. I really like to see her online engaging with fans.
She said it a public call out. The internet exploded and the silence from the Indiana Fever front office was deafening. Caitlin Clark, the league's undisputed offensive queen, just fired a direct shot at her own coaching staff, sparking a controversy that now threatens to tear the team apart. This wasn't a private conversation. It was a clear, unfiltered message sent to the world, revealing a shocking rift at the heart of the Indiana Fever strategy. Whispers immediately began about how long a superstar can endure such an environment, especially when her groundbreaking talent feels stifled by an incompatible coaching philosophy. This isn't just a joke. It's a bombshell that could unravel everything.
Making headlines after saying different things about current events that has been happening. And this is what I like to see from Caitlin, man. I really like to see her online engaging with fans, engaging with other athletes, because it really helped the genre and really keep her hype alive. We know lately, previously, she was kind of quiet online, but like, for example, the national championship football game is today, and Caitlin Clark commented and reposted a TikTok about Indiana wide receiver Elijah, who revealed he named his dog CC after Caitlin Clark, showing love and support for the Indiana Hoosiers this upcoming night.
The direct target of Clark's audacious jab was none other than Brianna January, a revered figure and assistant coach known for her legendary defensive prowess. January, a 7-time WNBA all-defensive player, posted about developing young talent, emphasizing rigorous defensive drills. Clark's repost with the cutting caption, "I know she had these poor kids just rapping defensive slides for hours," immediately turned a seemingly innocuous moment into a stark revelation of fundamental disagreement within the team. This was more than playful banter. It was a superstar publicly questioning the very foundation of her team's coaching approach, igniting a firestorm.
He's named after CC. Now, Caitlin Clark, we all know, went to Iowa, and Iowa have been killing it right now in women's basketball, but she's starting to show love, man. Indiana is really starting to grow on her. She said, hope he scores 3 touchdowns Monday night. Big Indiana fan Monday night. So Caitlin Clark let the world know she's going to be a big Indiana fan this upcoming Monday night. So this is the dog right here, CC, and I think it's dope. I think it's dope that they're working together. I think it's dope that Caitlin Clark is actually acknowledging the Indiana college football team. Now, she did speak about the Bears, which is crazy because I'm actually in Chicago.
This public challenge wasn't an isolated incident. It highlights a deeper philosophical struggle within the Indiana Fever organization, where head coach Stephanie White has historically built a defensive-based team. For an offensive juggernaut like Clark, whose game thrives on pace, space, and creative freedom, this rigid defensive emphasis could feel like a cage. The clash between an offensive genius and a defense-first system has been simmering beneath the surface, and Clark's comment ripped it wide open. It's a fundamental disconnect, creating an untenable situation for any player, let alone one of the most impactful athletes in sports history.
For the Fever coach. So basically, it looked like Caitlin Clark could be calling out Stephanie White, man. Caitlin Clark has joked about one of her Indiana Fever coaches' emphasis on defense, bruh. It stated it's hard to poke holes in Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark game. Despite being just 23 years old, she is one of the most talented offensive weapons in all of basketball, men's or women. I repeat, that is men's or women's. When she's healthy and able to compete. Now, we do know Caitlin Clark went down in July, and we have not seen Caitlin Clark on a basketball court.
Clark's pointed comment landed harder because her own defensive game has been a consistent target for critics. Fans and analysts have openly labeled her a loaf on defense, prone to falling asleep and allowing easy buckets, while her offensive brilliance overshadows these flaws. The tension becomes palpable when her own coaches are perceived to be hyper-focused on the very aspect of the game where she struggles. This creates an awkward dynamic, fueling speculation about whether the coaching staff is truly nurturing her strengths or inadvertently exposing her weaknesses through their unwavering philosophy for
women's. When she's healthy and able to compete. Now, we do know Caitlin Clark went down in July, and we have not seen Caitlin Clark on a basketball court since July, bro. I just gotta be honest. Now, a lot of people have definitely been feeling a type of way about that, dealing with these negotiations, dealing with us possibly seeing Caitlin Clark. Will we see her? A lot of fans have invested their life into this young lady. Even me, you know what I'm saying, just reporting on her every day. It'll just be doing us a disservice if Caitlin Clark is not able to play for the 2026 season. But the article goes.
Adding another layer to this brewing storm is Clark's past struggle with turnovers, a statistic that plagued her early WNBA career. Critics, including prominent sports figures like Skip Biss and Jason Whitlock, highlighted how her turnovers were often costly to the team. This problem could be exacerbated by a system that doesn't fully empower her unique decision-making or adapt to her fast-paced, high-risk, high-reward style. When a player's offensive brilliance is simultaneously questioned and constrained, it creates fertile ground for frustration, making a public call out almost inevitable.
Say that Caitlin Clark is the perfect basketball player. She sometimes forces things that aren't there. Now, if you guys don't remember, Caitlin Clark was leading the WNBA in turnovers for quite some period of time. I believe Skip Bayless actually talked about this before before Undisputed was pulled off the air, how her turnovers was pretty much costly to the team. I remember we talked about this when I was on Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock was another person in the media space that kind of spoke about Caitlin Clark turnovers being an issue. It goes on to say, isn't a developed.
Brianna January's credentials as a defensive powerhouse are undeniable. Her illustrious WNBA career was defined by lockdown defense, earning her multiple all-defensive team selections. For Clark to openly joke about January's defensive drills carries significant weight, essentially challenging the expertise of a respected veteran coach. This isn't just a simple disagreement. It's a direct confrontation with the established defensive identity of the coaching staff, raising serious questions about mutual respect and shared vision, especially with the team moving towards the crucial 2026 season.
On that article goes on to say, in fact, Clark has gotten some criticism from fans about being a loaf on defense in the past, which has led to her falling asleep at the end and allowing easy buckets. Most superstar players, besides like Kobe and Michael Jordan, typically don't play defense, man. Sometimes LeBron, you will see him running down the court beating balls off the hoop, but he loafs too, bro. It's just part of the game when you got offensive players like that. Steph Curry really ain't a big defender either. Goes on to say, it seems that she doesn't emphasize this component of her game, and this is surely to the charging of Brianna January.
The specific Instagram post that sparked the drama featured Brianna January working with young players captured growing the game across the globe. The image itself was innocent enough, showcasing player development, but Clark's immediate repost, adding her sarcastic caption about wrapping defensive slides for hours, transformed it into something far more confrontational. It wasn't a private message or a subtle hint. It was a public declaration broadcast to her millions of followers, effectively turning a coaching moment into a viral controversy that put the Fever's internal dynamics under a harsh spotlight.
Causing attention is a viral TikTok clip of a gentleman pretty much speaking about Caitlin Clark offense. Let's head on over to Twitter and pull this clip right here up, man. Shout out to Mike. He stated there is no offensive system superior than the basketball in Caitlin Clark's hand. That's why they ran, read, and react to Iowa. Also, the majority of half-court offenses should start with the screen and roll as their primary action, with several options for secondary. Let's take a listen to this clip that he is captioning this off of here real quick if I can get this pulled up.
This joke cannot be dismissed as lighthearted banter. It signals a deeper discomfort and potential resentment within the team's star player regarding the coaching emphasis. While Clark is known for her exceptional offensive talent, the constant focus on defensive deficiencies, both her own and the team's, could be stifling her ability to fully unleash her game. This public display of dissatisfaction is a red flag, hinting that the superstar might be reaching a breaking point with a system that doesn't align with her innate basketball philosophy or maximize her extraordinary potential. The plot thickens with the revelation that Brianna January was considered for head coaching jobs with other franchises, but ultimately remained an assistant with the Fever for 2026. This means the strong defensive philosophy she champions will continue to be a dominant force within the team structure. For Clark, this suggests an unchanging environment potentially intensifying the philosophical clash. Her joke could be seen as a desperate attempt to highlight this ongoing issue, knowing that the defensive emphasis is unlikely to shift without a drastic change in leadership or strategy. The broader implications are staggering for the Indiana Fever. How long can a franchise retain a generational offensive talent if its coaching staff is perceived to be out of sync with her unique skill set? The constant drive for defensive perfection, while admirable, risks alienating the player who drives ticket sales, viewership, and overall league hype. This isn't just about coaching. It's about player empowerment and organizational vision. The scandal isn't merely about a joke. It's about a fundamental misalignment that could dictate the future success and stability of the entire franchise. This brewing internal conflict gains even more gravity when considering the ongoing CBA negotiations for the 2026 season. Uncertainty already surrounds the league's future, with no legroom in discussions. Such instability coupled with a public coaching dispute creates a precarious situation for a superstar like Clark. If the league itself is in flux and her team's internal dynamics are strained, the incentive to remain in a potentially incompatible environment diminishes significantly. This adds a critical layer of speculation to whether Clark will truly commit to the Fever long term. Fans have invested their lives into following Caitlin Clark, making her presence in 2026 absolutely vital. The thought of her not playing due to unresolved league negotiations or, even worse, internal team conflict would be a disservice to everyone who has championed her. This fan investment amplifies the pressure on the Fever to resolve the coaching scandal swiftly and decisively. If the team cannot provide an environment where its biggest star thrives, the fallout could extend far beyond the court, potentially impacting the entire WNBA landscape and its burgeoning popularity, compounding the issue where Clark's injury struggles in 2025, limiting her to just 13 games due to various soft tissue injuries. While she is reportedly back to full strength for 2026, a season marred by physical setbacks can naturally lead a player to reevaluate their environment. Could a demanding defensive system or one that doesn't fully protect its offensive centerpiece contribute to future injury concerns? This adds a practical physical dimension to the emotional and philosophical clash, making the prospect of seeking a new team even more compelling. Clark's undeniable talent lies in her sharp shooting ability, her signature logo 3, lethal mid-range game, and unparalleled assist vision. These are the offensive weapons that redefine basketball. For a coaching staff to prioritize defensive slides over cultivating such a unique offensive force creates a stark imbalance. The scandal isn't just about a joke. It's about whether the Fever truly understands how to unleash and optimize the very talent that makes their team relevant. A system that doesn't celebrate her strengths is a system that risks losing her. The fundamental mismatch between Clark's offensive genius and the Fever's defensive-first identity is becoming increasingly apparent. While superstar players besides Kobe and Michael Jordan typically don't play defense to the same extent, the relentless focus on it by the coaching staff could be seen as a passive-agage critique of Clark herself. This creates an atmosphere of tension where her greatest strengths are overshadowed by perceived weaknesses. It's a classic power struggle, and in modern sports, the player often holds the ultimate leverage, especially one of her caliber. External voices further underscore this tension. A viral TikTok clip praising Clark's highest basketball IQ and no offensive system superior than the basketball in Caitlin Clark's hand highlights the global recognition of her unique offensive genius. This external validation only amplifies the perception.